Hey y'all, it's Alicia and welcome back to Alicia's Crafty Hoplop. If you're new here, this is a great introduction to our channel because this is very much what we tend to do for one another, which is test out either new or tried treasures in terms of products and see what holds up and what doesn't, and maybe we can discover some new ways of working and new materialities that not only will make our projects better, but we'll be able to do it less expensively. So I have been waiting to do this adhesion test for weeks now, and I have been very excited to do it. And I was waiting on several products, and they came in with the one exception. I'm still waiting on the amazing Reptile Glue that was recommended by the Posh Paper Lady. And the reason I'm waiting is that Amazon and all the other suppliers will not ship it if somewhere along the route it hits below zero. It's very much like our glitter glue. It has a sensitivity to weather and it will destroy the glue. It's the same reason why May won't ship our glitter glue when the weather's cold. So they're waiting for, it's been very warm here the last few days, but I guess somewhere en route from where they're shipping it had temperatures dip below zero, but supposedly it should be here any day. In the interim, I wanted to start this glue adhesive test because, as I told you all, it's going to take us a couple of days to get results. Because just because stuff is adhered now, what happens when I put it near those old school radiators in the bedroom? What happens when I place it near the open window in the kitchen? What happens when the glue constricts and then expands? Because, folks, that's the reality of what happens when we package up our stuff and ship it. It's put in all sorts of conditions. Hot, humid, sticky. When it travels from New York to Florida, there are radical temperature changes that it undergoes. So in the same way, I can't just show you in perfect conditions these glue tests. I have to then put them through a couple of changes to see if the material still holds up. So what's the point then in doing this video today, like we were talking about doing? Why am I doing preliminary results or telling you a little bit about my first experiences with it? Well, there are a few things we've learned already just by laying down all the glue tests. And that basically is which glues were difficult to work with, period. Which souped up, which made things hard to lay down. And also, which grabbed fast, and is that a good or a negative thing? Is there any immediate staining? Yeah, so we have some preliminary results, and I was kind of excited to share them with you. I actually told my husband, I just did a initial video, and you know me, I don't edit my videos. But at first I was like, this is going to take me 20 minutes to explain. But I have to find a way to share the results with you in a way that's informative, like fully informative, but also doesn't take up 25 minutes of your time. So here we go, folks. I want you to know that I did all the glue testing in a really systematic way. So if I'm testing tulle, then on Michael's paper pad, then that's what I'm doing for each glue. Meaning, so if I'm going to do tulle on paper, I'm going to test it using FabricTac. I'm going to test it using EC6000. I'm going to test it using Helmar's Fabric Glue. And that way, all the conditions are the same. The paper's the same, the material's the same, and the only thing that will change is that I will then put them through temperature shifts afterwards. But again, all at the same time and equally, so we call it contaminating the data, right? So I don't ruin the study. I don't want to tilt the study one way or the other. I want to give you a completely unbiased result. The other thing I want to tell you is that I'm not doing an endorsement for any of these products. This is a real test with real results. What I share with you is the real deal. If I'm excited about a result, it's because I'm genuinely excited. Nobody paid me or asked me to endorse these products. This is me just choosing to do this because I just think it's helpful for each of us to know. So those are sort of the standards of the test so that you understand it. All of the glues will be tested, like all the fabric glues will be tested the same way, using the same materialities. All the paper ones will be used doing the same thing, same paper tests over and over again. When we start getting into the fancy things like the glassine, the thin tracing papers, all those sort of things, they'll all be tested equally the same way with the same materiality to keep all the results even. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about some preliminary results that were surprising. And y'all know I love FabricTac. And thanks to Miss Pat Sweeney, I know that the new Beacon, like 3-in-1, I guess, is supposed to be like the new FabricTac. They've just renamed it, supposedly. And I'm glad to hear that because you all know FabricTac for me, and for many of us on here, is a must-have in our stash because it's one of the few fabric glues that tends to dry clear. And in addition to that, when I do those tool shakers, I didn't have to do the fold over method because it dried so clear. If I was careful, I could just take the tool to the edge, which I thought actually looked neater and took away some bulk. Well, folks, the preliminary result of the Helmar's 450 yielded some really big surprises. The first thing is, does it say that? It says here, flexible bond, grabs extra fast, machine washable. So you can put this through the wash. So if I glued this tool, let's say, onto my jeans and threw them into the wash, it should survive. Sets quickly. Well, that's what grabs extra fast means. And it's permanent. And it says it's used for fabrics, bridal wear, hats, lace, trim, upholstery, and more. Dries crystal clear. Well, I'll tell you, folks, so far, I can't argue with the drying crystal clear. I used a delicate tool with lots of speckling and lots of opening, the type that stains really easily. And there is not one indication of staining, and it's already dry. So unless that changes in cold or in heat settings, Helmar's delivers. Helmar's delivers. It's set perfectly clear. The other thing is, it says it grabs extra fast, but I really wasn't prepared for how fast. This grabbed as fast as our glitter glue, if not faster. Now, my one big issue with EC6000 is that it takes so long to grab, right? Some people say, well, that's good because when you're laying down gems or you're laying down plastics, it gives you more time. Oh, I like a little time to move things around. But for me, EC6000 is a bit soupy. It moves a little too much, and I find often I have to hold it in place or clamp it in place. Guys, this grabs so fast. It grabbed so fast, this fabric glue, that it really did remind me of our glitter glue. It's that fast, if not faster. And so far, folks, at least in regular conditions, there's not an inch of lift or a speckle of lift. So it dries clear, no staining on tool, and it dries super fast. That's the first result. Now, the other thing I should tell you is that for all of these tests, I did no bone folding. I did no removing of wrinkle. I didn't even do this, folks, because I didn't want to taint the tests. And I worried that I might do it more for one than for the other. So I just didn't do it, and I left it in its natural form. Take a look at this. Look how flat that dried with me doing nothing. So, folks, I'm a little nervous to report, at least preliminarily, that Helmar's fabric glue might be a superior choice to FabricTac for a number of reasons. One is that you get 8.45 fluid ounces. When you order it directly from Helmar's, this glue is $3.60. Yeah, that makes it like a fraction of the cost of my beloved FabricTac by Beacon. It does. Now, some of you might not like how fast it grabs because it is maybe faster than our glitter glue. I'm pretty confident when I lay down tulle or when I lay down fabric, I'm pretty confident these days. I'm practiced enough that I like a fast grab, so I'm okay with that. I don't need a lot of maneuverability. If you do, you're going to struggle a bit with this glue because it sets as fast as it says. It's super fast, extra fast, and they're telling the truth. So far, this glue delivers what it promises. It dries crystal clear. I think flexible bond, what Helmar's means is that when you do this, you know how with some glues they crack and then you start to get lift? I think they mean that when you bend it, it won't crack and it won't lift. I think that's what that means. So far, true. It says that it sets quickly. Oh, does it ever? And it dried so fast, folks. Now, I haven't put this through a washing machine, and nor would I ever, so I can't tell you if it's actually machine washable. But so far, what's a little surprising is that this might be a better glue than FabricTac, and it's certainly a less expensive one. We'll have to see how it holds up when I put it in different conditions. That was a stunner. I'm going to tell you that Helmar sent me something called Tiger Grip. And this is a glue, very inexpensive, for 4.23 ounces. It's $1.98. And this bad boy differs from their Super Tac glue, which is also $1.98, in so much as Super Tac says It dries clear, has a flexible bond, grabs extra fast, but although it can be used on most plastics, it's really sort of a more generalized purpose glue. It can be used for crafts, hobbies, ceramics, glass, rhinestones, gems, mirrors, pearls, fabric, trims, beads, and some plastics. In other words, my understanding from discussing it with them is that it's not quite as strong as an EC6000. It's somewhere between a regular glue and an EC6000 versus the Tiger Grip, which is much more like, this is some serious business, folks. On the back, it claims it can bond carpet that has torn. This could probably bond a tire, and I'm not kidding. Based on how it's described, even though it's AP quality, it's like the super glue of our kind of glue, of artist glue. All right, so it has tough instructions. You have to put a little bit on one piece that you're adhering, a little bit on the other piece. Then you have to wait till the glue is almost dry and then put them together, hold and or ideally clamp and leave it be. I know it's $1.98 for 4 ounces. I know it promises to be stronger likely than EC6000. It's odorless, which is really nice because EC6000 stinks. Folks, it's soupy. It's soupy like EC6000 is. And more than that, this girl found it difficult to apply. Now, did I get it done? Yes, I did. And I think this one requires some practice, and I want to say that to you. I don't think that this is, if we think EC6000 is difficult to use, I think this is going to take a little bit of practice. I'll also tell you that I couldn't even hold it up to show you for over 35 minutes because it would have just fallen right off. Now one of the tests I'm choosing to do with this bad boy is really difficult to adhere surfaces. So like I find that glitter paper causes lots of things to lift off. It's one of our, especially the chunky glitter paper, from Hobby Lobby. Oh yeah, I'm testing that too. Because I find when we glue on that, we have our biggest challenges with lifting, with it not grabbing. Well, I will say this. First of all, this Tiger Grip did not promise to dry clear, and it came out super messy, and I thought, oh Lord, this is going to be the messiest glue ever. Guys, you can't see the glue afterwards. It's actually quite impressive. And the more it dries, before I could see like a slight shadow, now I can't see any at all. So even though it doesn't promise to dry super clear, it does. I can't yet speak to the bond because it has to set for much more time. Again, I'll tell you, this is very slow drying. So if I thought EC6000 took a long time to dry, folks, this really takes a long time to dry. That said, it promises to be as strong, if not stronger, and it's $1.98 for almost 5 ounces, which makes it a really inexpensive, super strong glue. I'll have to let you know how it goes. I'm not even supposed to test its adhesion for a long time from now, so I don't want to poke it too much. But I will tell you it's already not moving, even though supposedly it shouldn't be set yet. So, was it difficult to adhere first? Yes. I'm not familiar with this way of applying glue, but it's not even supposed to grab yet, and I'm not getting any lift off of this paper yet. So we'll have to see what happens with it. It's not my favorite yet from the experience, but it is yielding some really surprising results for $1.98. There's no question. The last thing I'll share with you, we have tons of tests going on here, and I don't want to overwhelm you in one night. But one of my pet peeves is that whenever we use this kind of thin satiny trim, and if I want to adhere this with an EC6000, let's say I'll give you a perfect example, to an embellishment box that's plastic. So I know I want to use the EC6000 over the FabricTac because as fabulous as FabricTac is, it's not good on an embellishment box. It's not good adhering to plastic. There is lift with that. EC6000 works like no one's business. However, on thin satin stain and items like that, it stains. Sorry, on thin satin ribbon. See how I have a stain on the brain? It stains every time. Every time I use it, I get this like really annoying stain mark. And so I was really impressed that the Helmar's fabric glue, this one, didn't do that. Now, here's our thing. Will this adhere to plastic? I don't know. It's claiming that It has the potential, and I'm going to have to test it and see. But at least it doesn't stain a thin satin. And that's actually really impressive. Now, I also tried, when I was in the Holy Land, I got from Frank Garcia Studios the 450 quick adhesive. That's how I found out about Helmar's. And this is like an all-purpose that if you're buying one glue, because you want to keep costs way down in your making, this you can use on fabric, paper, wood, some plastics. It says a strong bond that lasts a lifetime, acid-free, machine washable, dries crystal clear, general purpose quick drying. Okay, so the same way that I didn't bone fold the papers because I wanted to do a really natural test, I did the same thing with the ribbons. I didn't touch, I didn't push, I didn't straighten them. Notice with Helmar's fabric glue, there's barely a wrinkle, despite the fact that I didn't do anything to take out the wrinkles. Like nothing. But when I used the Helmar 450 quick dry, look at the wrinkling, folks. Oh yeah, there's tons of it. Now, surely, if I know that about a product, as I found out in the Holy Land, you can usually get rid of it with your own hands, with a bone folder. But I want you to notice the natural difference. Because if you have a choice between these two glues, I would say already it's clear that this one is superior. And that's without doing anything. Not just because it's so quick drying, and not just because it doesn't wrinkle. But I noticed with the 450 a little lifting already. And I noticed that the fabric has none so far. Again, these are perfect conditions. Inconclusive results. When the results are in, I'll let you know. Just some interesting preliminary findings. Something for us to keep in mind. That said, do you all remember in the Holy Land when I got that 450? How shocked I was that when I laid paper down, that unlike my Tombow Mono, which I'll show you, Tombow Mono, when I just lay paper to paper, just like Kathy says, it buckles. It buckles and does the wave. And if I'm using inexpensive packaging, like I am for these tests, oh folks, you don't want to know. When I use the Tombow, when you see it in my craft projects and all my stuff, it's straight. But that's because I had to do the work to get it like that. I have to make sure not only do I bone fold the heck out of it, I keep it between books, I make sure it doesn't crease. I have to work with it. I didn't do a thing with this. I didn't bone fold it, I didn't flatten it, nothing. And just like in the Holy Land, guys, look how it dries. Perfectly. In fact, to be honest, when you put this next to an art glitter glue, you won't be able to tell me which one is which. I'm not kidding. That's impressive. Because 4.23 ounces of this is like $3.30. And we all know that art glitter glue is $16. So I'm going to put these side by side when we do the final results. And I can promise you, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. They look exactly the same, the results. That's what's impressive about Helmar's 450 quick dry. Wouldn't use it on that satin ribbon, just showed you why. But on paper, and I'm going to tell you this, I did testing on all sorts of paper. Inexpensive packaging, Michael's Hot Buy paper pads, 98-pound quality mixed media cardstock that's built for wet adhesion, meaning it's not supposed to buckle because the paper is built for it. And then I tested on thin paper like glassines and the thick tracing paper that we use and all sorts of things. And we'll see if it's true in every context. But right now, this inexpensive 450 dries just as flat and straight as art glitter glue using Hot Buy paper pads. That's a huge price difference, folks. Huge. Now, if you buy Helmar's on Amazon, it's more expensive. It's not $3.33. And Helmar's does charge for shipping. There's no question that they do. They'll charge freight and cartage because also some of the glue, I think it's the Tiger Grip, is considered a dangerous material. Like, I can't buy this for someone and then send it to them in the mail. It is considered to be hazardous. This is a hazardous product. So you do have to pay a fee for that for the mail. So you're going to pay shipping costs from Helmar. It could be up towards $10 depending upon how many glues you order. But when I work this out, this still comes out way, less expensive than our glitter glue. Way less expensive. Again, I didn't bone fold. I didn't even do this. And look at it, guys. And it's been hours. It's perfect. So, folks, those are our preliminary results. I'm going to have final results for you in about 3 days because I need them to lay out in all different conditions. I've tested it on top of glaze. I've tested it on top of glass mediums. I've done all sorts of recording of notes. It really is like a scientific study. And when we're done, we'll have a better idea of what glue works for what at what price point. And I'm hoping that's super useful for us all. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I'm going to do my best to answer them. Mid-test, I might not have all the answers, but I thought this was a pretty exciting preliminary results to be sharing with you. And in a few days, we'll have final results, which will probably be a shorter video. Like, yeah, definitely the 450 quick dry is a less expensive way to go than our glitter glue, or no, it's not, and this fabric glue is fantastic, or it's not. I'm just going to share it with you and keep it real, like we always do here. And I'm just hoping it's super useful because so many of us lately have commented either on having glue challenges or about the cost of glue per ounce. All right, y'all. I was hoping to get to some Happy Meal tonight, but this glue test took up a little bit more time to organize and be scientific and orderly, and then I wanted to find a way to actually share it with you that was meaningful. So I think I will save that for tomorrow, and I will see you all then. Whatever you're doing tonight, I hope it's something super fun. And again, I hope you found this really useful, and I'll be back on with the permanent results in a couple of days once we've exposed all of these to heat, to cold, to constriction, and then we'll really know, will they be able to hold up the test of time? All right, happy Saturday, y'all. Happy Saturday. Bye for now.